Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Well, quite a morning. Fights breaking out in South Florida. A joint practice. And I think you can look at it this way. Maybe it's too late in the preseason to have a joint practice. Miami had a few earlier. I'm sure Jacksonville would like to do that in the future. Liam Cohen spoke on that yesterday. But, let's face it, guys are tired. They're sick of camp. And they're ready for the regular season to get underway. So you had 3 fairly large fights today. And, again, that's not uncommon. That happens all across the NFL. Guys are competing for spots. Guys are hot. They're bothered. And it's not unexpected. I'd like to take this a step farther, however. And I've seen battles in joint practices before. Tampa Bay, I'm trying to remember back if it happened in Minnesota or Baltimore, New England, some of the roadies that I did watching joint practices. It is common, but to me, I'd like to spin this in a different direction, okay? Anthony Campanile was asked about fighting a week ago, and he smiled. He did as a defensive coordinator. That was the battle there with a backup linebacker against Clint Allen Jr., and I actually talked with Allen Jr. after that particular practice. That's really his label. He's a guy that plays to the echo of the whistle, which typically is only defined for defensive players. That applies here. And Allen got into the thick of it again today. So didn't Jaquindon Jackson. So didn't Trayvon Walker. So didn't Diami Brown. I mean, there was a lot of it, early this morning in Miami. But what I like about this is, okay, it's unnecessary. It's uncalled for. You don't want to get involved in any of this stuff. No way. I disagree. I like what's going on. Is this the identity of what a Liam Cohen football team is going to be like? The last 3 years around here was way too passive. It was the coward of the county. It was Kenny Rogers turn the other cheek. And it was led by Doug Peterson. You should never get over this if you are a Jaguars fan. You understand me? Never. That football team last year did not protect their quarterback. They did not fight for Trevor Lawrence. I know there were a few examples, right? Certainly Jarian Jones comes to mind. Brenton Strange comes to mind. Maybe Brandon Sheriff comes to mind. Maybe Walker Little comes to mind. I don't know. You could say 5, 6. It should have been the entire roster, right? And in my opinion, the Liam Cohen coach team last year in Tampa, where he was the offensive coordinator, if Houston concussed Baker Mayfield the way that he did Trevor Lawrence, that entire Buccaneers team would have lost their mind because they love Baker. They think he's a blue-collar type of quarterback, and we'll never know the answer to that question. I was actually asked right when Cohen got here. It was like during the summer. And no one's more interactive with our listeners. At 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, you can get us tonight on YouTube. Go ahead and pull that up. Just go to 1010XL into the night. I was asked by someone to ask Liam Cohen what he would have done in that situation, the cheap shot that happened here to Trevor Lawrence. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do that. That's a hypothetical, and that's frankly an unfair question to a new head coach. And there are just certain things I'm not going to do. That's one of them. Again, I just think it's unfair. So I didn't, and no one has, in the local media. But I am under the impression that what you have here now is some fight. is some guys who want to play for Liam Cohen, some guys who want to play for this franchise. And if the same thing happens to Trevor Lawrence, they are going to react, unlike what they did a year ago. That was really an embarrassment to Doug Peterson and that team. And I think that's one of the reasons why I have unofficially 51 new players on their 90-man roster. Gladstone and Baselli came in, and they just said, see ya, see ya, see ya, see ya, see ya. Not bringing back any of their unrestricted free agents. They just continue to say goodbye to player after player after player. Get them out of the Miller Electric Center. And you could say what you want about Houston. You could say what you want about the Texans. But if you were a fan of that franchise, how proud would you be knowing that you're 100% wrong, yet your head coach, D'Amico Ryans, and your general manager, Nick Cesario, totally stood up for the player and stood up for the football team? Where around here, it was a 180 with Doug Peterson getting pissed that Jarian Jones tried to do something and actually was thrown out of the game. I don't advocate fighting, okay? You hope that clearer heads will prevail, but there is a time, right? A concussed quarterback, Trevor Lawrence going down and moving his arms the way that he did, that is the time. And I believe that right now. I think we've seen it. I think we've heard what they've had to say about it. And I think that should be, for you, a good sign about where this football team is right now compared to where this football team was a year ago. Just my early thoughts there on what's going on as we, close out camp. And I'll walk through tomorrow. Liam Cohen told the media today that starters are not going to play on Saturday night. The exact opposite is going to be the case for the Miami Dolphins. Mike McDaniel said some of the Dolphin starters will play. It's pretty interesting if you follow, John Oehser is going to join us here in 10 minutes. If you follow the local media and what they had to say, and I think there was three there that I can think of, St. Cyr, Shipley, and, Oehser and guys from Jaguars.com. But read what they wrote and then go to Miami and get some of this stuff from their beat writers, and it's like a totally different feel. I think the grades are actually harder locally, which I'm proud of. My understanding is that it was a mixed bag today. Offensively was very sloppy. Trevor Lawrence threw a couple of picks. Trevor Lawrence also threw 2 touchdown passes today to Brian Thomas Jr. It was reportedly the best practice of the year for Brian Thomas Jr., who also had 2 touchdown receptions. And Liam Cohen, after practice today, talked about the uptick in his performance. If you remember a year ago when he did not have a great start to training camp at the Miller Electric Center, their work against Tampa Bay was arguably his best practice. So I've said it all along. He's a better game day player than a practice player. But he rose to the occasion a little bit earlier today. That's part of the conversation we're going to have coming up in just a couple of moments with the senior writer at Jaguars.com. That'll be John Oehser joining us live from Miami. All right, opening comments tonight and every night. Shmunez Vision. It's raining sideways. It's bizarre. It really is. I hope your eyes are 20/20. Stop putting it off. Stop neglecting your eyes. It's amazing. It's really the one part of your body that, I'll push it back another week. I'll push it back another month. Why? Ask yourself this. Where's the fatigue right now with your eyes? Are they working the way they did when you got up this morning? Went to work, took the kids to school, whatever it may be. It's really easy. Just go to Shmunez Vision, set up an appointment, and they're going to take you through everything. Imagine being a candidate for laser eye surgery, which is very affordable, okay? Never having to worry about your contacts, never having to wonder where your readers are. Also, if something is scaring you, and it is significant, cataract surgery, refractive surgery, Dr. Neo Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt, you're talking about more than 30 years combined, way over 30 years of surgery on eyes, including 9 years ago. Dr. Neil Shmunez performed surgery on my right eye. It's right there for you. Wonderful website. Check it out, Shmunez Vision. Also go to Instagram, get all the testimonials at Shmunez Vision. Let's dive into it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a Thursday in Duval. Up first, let's bring in John Oehser. Took in today's joint practice, and he's on deck.
He used to lay the lumber on the field.
No, I'm not a quarterback, but I like eating quarterbacks for breakfast.
Now he lays his opinions on Jaguars Today. Tom McManus. Fridays on 1010XL. Opened by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Joint replacement surgery is always a tough decision, but relief from chronic pain may be just around the corner. Dr. George Barry here, and there's a lot to consider to make sure you get the proper diagnosis and best path back to the range of motion and mobility you had. Age, lifestyle, and overall health all play a part. Let the team at Ballou Orthopedics give you a full analysis to help you make the best decision. Log on to BallouOrthopedics.com or call the office to make an appointment. With offices across Jacksonville and ready to help you feel good again, we'll get you back on the road to recovery at Ballou Orthopedics.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Calling all poker players. The Best Bet Summer Swing Series kicks off August 18th at Best Bet Orange Park with a $200 no-limit hold'em and a $100,000 guarantee. Next stop, Best Bet St. Augustine with a $150,000 guaranteed poker tournament. Then wrap it up Labor Day weekend in Jacksonville with a massive $300,000 guarantee. Play all three events and swing for big winnings. Get all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Clean and Freaks at Zero Res. Great time of the year to get your house zero resified. And right now, you can get your entire home clean from Jacksonville's ultimate carpet cleaner. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Plus, they're throwing in a free hallway and take $100 off the air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Jacksonville is my hometown, and nobody knows roofing like me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We handle everything from repairs to full roof replacements, start to finish. We give honest quotes, use quality materials, and clean up like we were never there. We all look at Google reviews, so go ahead and check out ours. We're proud of all our 5-star ratings. I would say we treat you like family, but some people don't like theirs. Go to BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roof quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
That is John Oehser's theme music. We'll get to him in just 1 minute. Hey, good news today as well. Apparently, they got out of there without any injuries. They did hold out Travis Hunter and Tyson Campbell and teamwork. They did individual drills today, but no teamwork for those two. And as I said a little bit earlier, they're not going to play. Starters will be out for this game coming up Saturday at 7 o'clock. Tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. Now, I hope you never have to use them because I don't want to see you get injured. But if it's happened to you and it's a personal injury, and it doesn't matter where it took place, this certainly does include car accidents, truck accidents, right? And maybe you're dealing right now with a situation where your car doesn't work. You can't get to work, okay? You can't pay the bills. These are the type of questions that you need to ask Rick Alexander, okay? You'll never come out of pocket. So for starters, when you call 400-6600, it's a free call and it's a free consultation. These are the type of questions you ask. You'll never come out of pocket, all right? Depending on what's going on, they could take you through this entire process. You get your car fixed. You get able to get back to work. You have to ask the questions. You're going to get an immediate call back at Alexander Law Practice. You're going to get individualized attention that you deserve. And they're going to be very creative. And, of course, the end will, hopefully for you, be what you deserve financially. To get all of the details, just go to alexanderlawpractice.com. That is Alexander Law Practice. Or, again, for a free call and free consultation, just go to 400-6600. That is the good folks over at Alexander Law Practice. All right, John Oehser getting set to join us here momentarily. Certainly looking forward to the conversation with Oehser. He's typically with us at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. But we did ask, I did ask to push that back to tonight so we could have camp servations, right? As Oehser often writes about on Jaguars.com, to get the very latest as to what happened today, the good and the bad, during this joint practice that did occur. My understanding is that the defense was dominant today. John Shipley said dominant. He was another member of the media who was actually down south. Apparently a really good day today for Damon Hamilton. A very good day today for Eric Armstead, who had a sack. There was a situation where Mason Smith really showed out today, and he was one of the guys that Liam Cohen did talk about after practice, saying it was great work today for Mason Smith. So that is certainly encouraging. Devin Lloyd was in the backfield today and did some good things. Once again, you know, the ability to blitz. They really didn't do anything against Pittsburgh a couple of Saturday nights ago. And I know that was very disheartening for a lot of you Jaguar fans that it was so vanilla and they allowed Mason Rudolph to really get after him and do whatever they wanted. That has changed since. We saw it on both defensive drives in New Orleans, and apparently a very good effort today defensively for the Jaguars against the Dolphins.
It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser. Oh No's. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
He is the leader of the Ozone. He is the senior writer at Jaguars.com, and he is in South Florida. He's John Oehser. Hi, John.
Rick, how are you, buddy?
Doing well. All right, a lot of fights today. Common during joint practices. Is this more of I'm sick of camp and they shouldn't have scheduled it this late? Or are we starting to see an identity of the Liam Cohen football team that they're going to be physical and things like this? I mean, you never want to fight during the season, obviously, but things like this, they're not going to take it like, let's say, last year's team did.
Yeah, I think it almost feels obligatory that when two teams get together like this, they almost feel like if they don't fight, you know, and I'm joking a little bit about that, but I was watching it today. There was one pretty big scrap when LaQuint Allen, who, if you've watched Jaguars practices, Jaguars running back LaQuint Allen does not mind standing off against somebody. So I think there was a little bit with the running backs that got out of hand, and it went into it was about probably a minute brouhaha that calmed very quickly, and then through the blow-by-blow, I think it was a little while later, a Dolphins running back kind of put his hands in the face of Trayvon Walker, and I kind of laughed, and I said, that's one of those where Trayvon's like the guy that if somebody like picks a fight with him in a bar, they start the fight, and then they're trying to rationalize later, hey, we can talk about this.
Yeah.
Because you really don't want it once you look in the guy's eyes and realize, oh, this is not who you mess with. But to your point, I do think there is a little bit of I think Liam Cohen does not want this team to get pushed around. I can't say that he has told them that, but there is a little bit, to your point, there is a little bit of scrap. They're not going to take that sort of thing. I think if you see pushing and shoving during a game, you want to be smart. Nothing's worth the 15. But I do think there will be that element of it. And I think with LaQuint Allen, who I like very much, he's a guy who is a seventh-round pick. He's here to fight for a spot, and he does not believe that he doesn't belong in this league. So there is an element of that, I guess, is my point. But, Rick, I did laugh with the running back sort of starting something with Trayvon. Because it got ended in a hurry.
And that obviously was something that did happen today. I was told 3 different fights today. John, let's stay with a positive here. My understanding, including reading, what you and your staff put out, a good day for the defense. What caught your eye on that side of the ball?
It looked like it, and I think we should sort of – I want to put in perspective all the reporting off of this. It's one joint practice, and I think Liam Cohen was very clear all week. I think when they started scheduling this joint practice, I think Liam hoped it would be more than what it was. And I think what happened was the Dolphins had already had a bunch and really did not have that much of a desire to go as hard as the Jaguars wanted to go today. So it was not – you've been to some joints, Rick. Some joint practices, 2.5 hours, great work. I thought today was a little truncated off that. But I thought the defense looked good. It's hard for me because I got to watch 2 one-on-one sessions or 2 first teams. I was watching the offense a little bit, the defense a little bit. I thought Trayvon and Josh got some good pressure. I thought in the last series, and to give you an idea, there were some situational 11-on-11 and then a lot of special teams. Then there was one maybe 8 or 9 minute session at the end where it was ones-on-one. During that, it felt to me like the Jaguars' defense, Christian Braswell had a nice pass breakup. If they'd gotten it going a little while and that had been the tone, then I thought the defense would have looked very good. I thought when I saw them, they did look good with some plays. And one thing, Jordan Lewis, who I think is also a tone setter, he had one moment where he sort of pushed up against I think it was a Bucs tight end. Jordan Lewis is a tone setter on this team, and I think he was ready to go as well. So if you're looking for guys like that, I think that happened.
Cohen had some positive things to say about Mason Smith and Eric Armstead. They've had virtually, no reps so far. Did anything stand out with either one of those two?
Not today necessarily, as much as what Liam talked about, which is he said yesterday in Spiders when they looked at the film, then you could sort of see their size standing up. I think Liam was happy with sort of getting some, stoutness on the interior of the defense. Again, I don't get the feeling that he was saying, hey, this one play looked great, but he said they certainly feel bigger and better against the run. And I think what he hopes is that you see that sort of develop over time. I got the impression they were really glad of what they saw in the film from Mason Smith getting in there and being stout. I mean, and that's what you want to see from him. Is that some hope? Maybe. But, I think that is going to matter going forward.
John Oehser is joining us live from Miami. Of course, he's the senior writer at Jaguars.com. Today was a joint practice with the Dolphins, a walkthrough tomorrow, and then Saturday night. Starters will not play, Liam Cohen has said, for the Jags. Mike McDaniel is going to play some starters for the Miami Dolphins. All right, let's get to the offense. Again, Liam Cohen commented on this. He used the word uptick, talking about Brian Thomas Jr., reportedly his best practice of the year.
Well, it looked to me very similar to the scrimmage, Rick, and I'm talking about the first scrimmage inside the bank when Brian Thomas Jr.'s drops had been a topic, and then in that scrimmage, all of a sudden, he's making plays. I think Liam Cohen talked about it a lot after practice today, and so did Trevor a little bit. When the light comes on for BTJ, he plays, and this was a competitive situation. And he had a red zone touchdown. I'm trying to track it. He had a red zone touchdown this morning, and then he had a play that looked like BTJ. And this was in that period I talked about where it's ones-on-one, sort of closer to the Dolphins' end of the field. He got open over the middle and caught probably about a 20-yard pass from Trevor and just looked smooth, looked fast like he does, looked in control, looked like a playmaker. I think it was a 43-yard pass. It's funny, when Liam was talking about it today, you could almost tell that he's not completely comfortable with this idea that he just turns the switch. And he said he said he talked to BTJ about, hey, you got to show it in practice, and how much better can you be? You got to dominate all the time. But he kind of laughed and he goes, yeah, we're seeing it, and we've been told this, and we saw it again today. So maybe he's just getting used to the idea of this is what BTJ is. Rick, I'm not overly worried about BTJ. When it's time to play, the kid plays.
Yeah. He's a better game day player. There's no question. He's a practice player. How did the offensive line look?
They were on the complete other end of the field, so I don't want to be disingenuous and say that, the Dolphins kind of set it up where we're at one end and they're at the far end. From what I could tell, they looked okay. The issues offensively, Liam and Trevor both talked about it. The Dolphins run some disguises that they both said are really good. They show zone, drop into man, and vice versa. That seemed to get Trevor a couple times in red zone, if I'm reading their comments right, and it jives with what I saw. The offensive line, they didn't run enough hardcore running plays for me to really interpret that. Looked like they might have gotten through a couple of times, but the issues offensively were more sort of trying to see what the Dolphins were doing the first time. It looked like they were getting the hang of it a little better as practice went on.
Yeah.
Offensive line, okay. I think if we'd had a 2.5-hour practice followed by another 2.5-hour practice, I could give you a lot more on that front.
All right, let's wrap up as I kind of double down here and we get to Trevor. Yeah, he himself said it was a little sloppy, but your point on what Liam Cohen was talking about, how they really, in Miami, were masking their defense, where they would show something, then they'd run something else when the ball was snapped. 2 touchdowns for Trevor to Brian Thomas Jr. Couple of picks today. Overall, what did you make out of his performance?
Sloppy. I mean, it was another one of those practices where you kind of come off and raise your eyebrows. Boy, you would like to see better out of that. I thought it boded well that even in that practice, Liam Cohen's offense was able to get guys open in the period where it was ones-on-one. You got the idea that they were working on stuff early, and that was sort of the mini scrimmage. I hate to call it that because it was 8 minutes. So that boded well. You don't want to see interceptions in the red zone, which is where one of them happened. I think it was Fitzpatrick got Trevor once. So not a great day. But then afterward, Trevor, everybody seemed to indicate that overall they've gotten the work done they wanted out of training camp. But I think realistically, Rick, in this offense early in the season, you're going to see them still figuring out, okay, this is what we're doing against this is what we're doing against this. I've liked a lot what you've seen. I've also seen the same practice everybody else has where I came off raising your eyebrows. So I'm okay with the progress, but I think there will be some moments early that people don't love because it's the NFL and they're still learning this thing.
John Oehser, ladies and gentlemen. So is it South Beach tonight? Is it deep into the city? What's going on for John Oehser?
Rick, I'm not at liberty to say.
So then I got it. It's an IPA at the hotel bar and an IPA back in your hotel room.
Well, Rick, if I can pull that off, I'll call it a win.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, John, always a lot of fun. Thank you. Enjoy your stay there, and I'll see you soon.
Fantastic, Greg. Thanks, buddy.
There he goes, John Oehser, senior writer, Jaguars.com. Oehser's hilarious with that. When I traveled with the team for nearly a decade, not a guy that leaves the hotel much, and that's fine. I mean, it's a business trip, right? Some of us always like to mix in a little bit of pleasure, though. Just want to say that. All right, when we come back, let's get to this. Let's get to Cohen talking about the masking of Miami's defense and how it did fool Trevor Lawrence today. Let's also go through what he did that was positive and that was negative. Also, some really interesting things said today by Liam Cohen on running backs and also about adding other players to the 53-man roster. I'll tell you what, this man is transparent. And he's a lot of fun to listen to when he speaks because he tells you what is on his mind. We got a lot to do as far as that is concerned. If you want to join us, 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, let's welcome those in on YouTube. You can join them as well. Just go to 1010XL into the nights.
After our son's shoulder issues were worsening, we took him to see Dr. Snyder at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, who recommended PRP treatment. We trusted Dr. Snyder's evaluation and look forward to seeing him pitch again. For the right care, the best care, we highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret, Dandy's never frozen, always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses, no dry crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little dude with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand, a quality sandwich. So do what I do and stop in at a Daly's and make yours a Dandy today.
Start your Saturday with a whiff of the great outdoors.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Lagerman, and we bring you the fresh air of the great outdoors.
On the Nimnit Outdoors Show, presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Yo, Jacksonville, Hickens Hype, Checkmate Coatings crushes it with floors I'd put in my own pad.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coatings. We coat it all. Garages, pool decks, driveways, and patios. Be the envy of your neighbors.
Rush to checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
If you've been in a big truck accident, you need a lawyer that specializes in big trucks. A lawyer who knows all the federal traffic rules that can affect your case.
And who can navigate the complex web of laws dealing with the trucking company, the leasing company, the shipper, and all the other details that can complicate your case.
At Farah & Farah, we've seen it all, and we're ready to go the long haul to fight for you. Jacksonville.
Jaguars football is officially back. Be there as number 2 overall draft pick Travis Hunter, quarterback Trevor Lawrence, and new head coach Liam Cohen take the field for the first time during the 2025 NFL regular season. Secure your seats for when the Jaguars take on the Panthers September 7th by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Let's get the work done.
Training camp is here.
Up, quick feet.
1010XL's training camp coverage is backed by Roland Reach Plumbing and Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Go, here we go. Let's go. It's live now. Let's go.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you have told us about buying better quality diamonds, but is there any way to start with a smaller diamond and use it to trade up to a larger diamond later on?
Frank, it's interesting you'd ask that because our founder, H.F. Underwood, popularized growing your diamond here in Jacksonville about 50 years ago, and it's something we still do today. When a customer buys an Underwood engagement ring or solitaire diamond pendant or a pair of ear studs, we guarantee they get the price they paid for it on the purchase of any larger diamond. Now, a lot of stores would say, big deal. We do that too, but here's the Underwood difference. We guarantee you get what you paid when you trade in your Underwood diamond, even if you're trading up by only $1. It's not that you have to trade up 2 for 1 like most jewelers ask. There have been literally thousands of people in the Jacksonville area who have taken advantage of our policy, and Underwood still grows a lot of diamonds for a lot of people.
Underwood, serving excellence since 1928. In San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
That's some Miami club music right there, right? Get in trouble in Miami, I'm told. My record is crystal clean in Miami. Dylan Denmark is with us. We've been waiting for this, and it finally happened. The SEC will go to a 9-game conference schedule beginning next year.
Yeah, finally happened, and every SEC team is going to be playing each other almost pretty much every other year. Mm-hmm. So 3 permanents, and you're going to rotate every other SEC team. So it'll be interesting to see what SEC teams will permanently play each other 3 times every year, but long overdue.
Yep. Some more starting quarterbacks announced with some blue bloods or prominent teams. We'll maybe get to that next hour. Also, a tweak in the way that the College Football Playoff Committee is going to evaluate teams based on strength of schedule. Again, we don't have time to do that right now because we want to talk Jaguars football. It was a joint practice today in South Florida with the Miami Dolphins. Sloppy is the best way to describe the offense. Trevor Lawrence, a reported 8 of 14 today, 2 touchdowns, both to Brian Thomas Jr., a couple of interceptions, threw one intended for Brian Thomas Jr. It was picked off by Jack Jones. Reports there say that it probably would have been a sack. All right, therefore the interception wouldn't have happened. Also, lack of communication or poor communication in a Minkah Fitzpatrick interception on a ball that Trevor Lawrence threw to Brenton Strange. Apparently, Strange wasn't even looking for the ball. So, yes, that has got to get cleaned up. Okay, Liam Cohen said some interesting things today that Jaguar fans, I think, would be very intrigued with, talking about Miami's defense and what they're doing at the line of scrimmage, what they're doing with all 11 guys, and how that confused Trevor Lawrence during this joint practice.
They do a nice job with man alignments and playing zone, and zone alignments and playing man. So you can displace the tight end or the running back, and they'll actually, we call mask coverage, where they're showing you one thing and it, on the snap of the ball, changes. And so that is really good experience for us to be able to get that, because there are a lot of teams that do it. They've just done it. They did it well today. And it confused us a few times in the red zone, not just the quarterback, but the routes and kind of how those things end up playing out when you think you're getting one coverage on the snap of the ball and then it changes.
And most teams, you believe, are going to do that in some sort of a scenario, maybe not every play. And I know if you're looking at defenses here that were led by Mike Caldwell or Ryan Nielsen, you may be like, what's he talking about? But I expect that to happen on the defensive side of the football this year with Anthony Campanelli. He still hasn't shown any type of exotic blitz. But this is just changing right as the ball is getting set to be snapped. And you know, the transcript, because I love this when I listened to the presser earlier today, Cohen goes on to say the play involving Parker Washington in the 2-minute drill, they were showing man coverage, and That's exactly what it is. I'm reading word for word. Then they flip to a cover 2, and then he goes on to say, but it was literally, I think, a cover 8, which we call quarter to quarter, half, and field to field. So I've never heard of a cover 8. I have not. I mean, there's different definitions for what you're doing defensively. Of course, we're all aware of the cover 2, all aware of man-to-man coverage. But Miami did a nice job with that. So, a learning lesson, perhaps. But I think that is a way that defenses are going to look at trying to stop this Jaguars offense. And when you look at knocks on Trevor, and I get it from Jaguar fans every night who comment on what I'm talking about. But if you're a Trevor non-fan, or you're kind of stuck in the middle where you're still really not sure, is he ever going to turn into that generational talent? One of the first things that they bring up is that Trevor Lawrence struggles to read defenses. And I think there's some truth to that, right? My biggest issue with Trevor Lawrence has always been protection of the ball, trying to make plays that he cannot make. For instance, we saw that first drive in New Orleans over the weekend. You got to eat the ball, take the sack. Instead, he tried to hand it off to Tank Bigsby. Now, the blame game, you can blame Ezra Cleveland. You can blame Tank Bigsby. You can blame anyone you want. Bottom line, though, you got to fall down. You can't try to make a play and turn it over, the way that they did. That's always been my biggest problem with Lawrence. And I think it's been a solid camp. I think his footwork, even though it's changed, has been on. I think if you go back and watch the tape against the Saints, he felt comfortable in the pocket. He didn't leave the pocket too soon. Been a lot of talk this week about how Trevor Lawrence was able to read progressions and go through his first, second, third option. One of the third down receptions by Brenton Strange, and had an opportunity to interview Brenton yesterday, was a fourth option, fourth progression. So it's coming about, but the downside will say he can't read defenses, and he struggles in that department. Well, he struggled today when they switched things up, and you can take it as a learning point, and certainly take it from there, or it can add to your concern, depending on how you feel. All right, we got much more to do, including Cohen's opinion today on his running back stable. Wow, I love that. I didn't love it. I thought it was very interesting. I mean, it makes total sense, but just the way he said it was interesting. And some other things to get into as well, including the waiver wire. Rosters will be set coming up on Monday. What are the Jaguars going to do?
Get ready to go viral with us.
Jeff Prosser and Dan Hickett on the Swamp Sessions podcast.
It's no holds barred, live streamed on the 1010XL social channels right after every Gator game.
From Voodoo Brewing Company.
Driven by Atlantic Infinity.
Lee Bryce. What you know about that tour? Saturday, September 13th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. With special guests Ashley Cook and Lewis Bryce. Award-winning country sensation Lee Bryce. On sale now at AXS.com. Don't miss Lee Bryce Live.
Now this is how you end a summer. Under the lights, surrounded by history. The driver's last shot at the playoffs. Your last chance to see regular season action. Friday night, Xfinity lights the fuse. Saturday night, the Cup Series delivers the fireworks. This is Daytona. This is everything. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 22nd and 23rd. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your national builder of the year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Come to Monahan Jewelers store-wide 40 to 50% off sale going on now for a very limited time. Everything on display is 40 to 50% off at Monahan Jewelers. We've bought so much brand new jewelry, we need to make room for it. Diamond jewelry, engagement semi-mounts, colored gemstones, even gold chains. Right now, everything on display at Monahan Jewelers is 40 to 50% off. Jewelry's going quick, so come to Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
There's certain places you know if you go in, they got what you're looking for, like Gate Convenience Stores and Cold Modelo's. That's the ticket. Or get on the craft side of things with something from Bolt City or Sweetwater. Hit the cooler at Gate, full of choices and all of them good.
At Hurricane Grill and Wings, the wings are fresh, the drinks are cold, and the game is always on. With 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, and handcrafted cocktails, there's no better place to kick back and catch every play. Escape the ordinary. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Reporting is key, and it's going to be subjective, right? I mean, trust your eyes, whatever it may be. Look at John Shipley today. Josh Hines-Allen was the best player on the field in Miami, period. He had an incredible day, and his efforts would have included a touchdown during the regular season game after he forced a fumble. You go to Omar Kelly, longtime member of the Miami Herald, who's covered the Dolphins for 25 years or so. He says left tackle Patrick Paul literally threw down Hines-Allen during a one-on-one. So, and it's hard to see everything. You know, you got 180 guys out there, but that's incredible to me. I mean, I'm not saying this is like listening to Fox News and then putting on CNN. I'm not saying, but I'm trying to remember where someone was climbing all over me about something that I saw. I don't remember where it was. And, you know, someone else saw things differently. Hey, that's the way it is. When you're grading anything, whether you're grading the Jaguars, whether you're grading whether you're analyzing a concert, whether it's a movie, I mean, we're all going to have a different opinion. But anyway, I think that's really interesting. All right, let's get back to Liam Cohen. Good presser today for Cohen. Had a lot to say. Let's get to the running back room. And, you know, this isn't a complete shock. I actually asked yesterday. I asked Grant Udinski about, keeping 4 running backs and just how rare that is. Most teams keep, 3 running backs that they really trust, and you need 3 running backs, and then you'll keep a guy, or 2 maybe on the practice squad. For those of you who forget, there are 16 practice squad jobs that are going to go with the 53-man roster. But today he was asked about the running backs. Here's what Liam Cohen had to say.
Yeah, we're still right in the thick of it, honestly. I mean, I think that we've seen great things from all 4 of those guys, really. Knowing that it's going to be darn near impossible to have 4 with a jersey on game day. That's the challenge that we have to work through over the next few weeks. He did. I thought he had a better day than he did yesterday at practice. He stepped it up a little bit better today. 1 and 4 got some quality work, but they've continued to kind of do the right thing for us. And then Quint, man, in pass protection continues to do a nice job. So we've got some work to do over the next few weeks here before Carolina to figure out who's going to get a jersey. And special teams has a lot to do with that as well.
All right, there you have it. I mean, to me, again, it's not absolutely earth-shattering, but it makes you think for a minute. What? The love of the 2 rookies. They drafted 2 rookies. There's no secret. We saw it in the, what piece was it? The Michael Silver piece, right? That they were really interested in getting a running back, really early in this draft.
R.J. Harvey in the 2nd round.
Yes, R.J. Harvey. I mean, say what you want, but he used 3 backs as effectively as any team in the NFL did a year ago. Okay, their top 2 backs caught nearly 100 balls for 800 yards. Their 3rd down back caught another, I think it was 30 balls for over 300 yards, or ran it for over 300 yards, caught a bunch of footballs as well. I gave the numbers out last week. It was insane, the production that you got both rushing the football and receiving the football in the backfield. If you look at this running back stable, far and away, the 3 who fit into the Liam Cohen style of offense the best is Travis Etienne, Bashal Tutin, and LaQuinton Allen Jr. Those are the 3. On paper and also with the eye test. Now, I think Tank's had a really, really good camp. And I think there's some value for Tank. Here's the other side of the equation. Do you give up Tank, who costs nothing? I think he's making $1.4 million. Etienne's a guy that, contractually speaking, it's the final year of his deal. What are you going to get for him? He costs $6 million. They're in salary cap. There's no problem. But it just makes you wonder, what are they going to do? And can you put the trust? He said you need 3. Can you put the trust in 2 rookies? He put it in a rookie last year, and we saw what happened in Tampa Bay. Can you do that? Or do you simply just keep 4, and on game day, you scratch a guy? And you can't cut him and put him on the practice. You cut Allen Jr., he's getting picked up by another team. You're obviously not going to cut Tutin, right? But someone's asked about Allen Jr. No, you can't cut him either. Hell, I'd try to bury DeQuindon Jackson on the practice squad. But to me, this is really interesting. 2 weeks away from the regular season. There's a lot of guys being shopped around right now. We saw a couple of trades yesterday. We saw Jackson will make a trade on Monday. Actually came in Sunday night and again on Monday. Hey, your thoughts on that? Best way to join us. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, some good stuff going on YouTube if you want to join the folks there. Go to 1010XL into the night. Much more on the Jaguars, including the 53-man roster. We'll begin the 7 o'clock hour with that.
He's been dominant here throughout the evening at Daytona.
The NASCAR Coke Zero Sugar 400, the Saturday night summer special at Daytona. Driven by Maxie's Mechanics. From the station with the most horsepower. Daytona 1010XL.
Cigar smokers, mark your calendars. on August 22nd, 3 to 7. Join us at Cigars International Superstore at the Town Center for an epic Oliva event. Meet Ralphie Solar from Oliva. Grab exclusive deals on Oliva boxes and sip drinks at our full bar. Relax in our indoor and outdoor lounges with TVs. Don't miss this smoking good time. This Friday, August 22nd, 3 to 7 p.m., Cigars International Superstore, Jacksonville at the Town Center.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Ballou & Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Ballou & Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 21st, 2004, Michael Phelps wins his 6th gold medal at the Athens Olympics, even though he doesn't swim in the final of the men's 4x100 meter medley relay.
First Coast, I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
What was George Washington's salary when he was president?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
George Washington's annual salary as president was $25,000, about $4.5 million in today's dollars.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Coming up in just a little bit at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, the Panthers, they're going to play their final preseason game. I don't know if starters are going. I haven't checked in on the media in Charlotte. Obviously, I have with the media in Miami. But tonight, Pittsburgh and Carolina, also on Thursday night, New England and the New York Giants. Before we get to what is very important here, that is the latest on Liam Cohen and the Jacksonville Jaguars. A personal note, I've been ripped, and this comes from Connor on YouTube, which you can be a part of. Just go to YouTube and go to 1010XL into the night. Connor says 8 minutes, and all Rick has talked about is our team fighting another team if T-Law gets KO'd in 2025. I did talk about that for probably 8 minutes, trying to make a point about the fight of Liam Cohen and his team compared to the turn the other cheek Doug Peterson team a year ago. But now that this is settled in, and Dylan, not necessarily from you, but perhaps from someone else, I need a hug. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get over this.
Well, someone's walking in the hallway. Let's see if they'll give you one during the break. As what do you say all the time, Rick? It's not what you say, it's what people hear.
Well, that was the length. I mean, he thought I should have made a 30-second comment on it, moved on. But hey, I was making a point. Here's what we do know. It was a mixed bag today for the Jaguars. The defense performed better than the offense. The exception offensively certainly being Brian Thomas Jr., probably his best practice of the year. Caught 2 touchdowns today. Trevor reportedly 8 of 14, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The offensive line, kind of iffy. Told Austin Trammell, according to John Shipley, second best wide receiver on the field today. We just went through the running back room with Liam Cohen. Cohen has stated that starters will not play Saturday against the Dolphins. Their coach, Mike McDaniel, said some Dolphin starters are going to be able to play as well. So depending on what the situation is, that is going to be the case there for the Miami Dolphins. Individual drills today for Travis Hunter and Tyson Campbell. Okay, no teamwork for either one of those two, but we did see teamwork for Eric Armstead, Mason Smith, and Liam Cohen got into that and actually had some pretty cool things to say. All right, I thought this was, this was great, and I really enjoy what the early process has been like with Liam Cohen and his staff. Grant Udinski, okay, yesterday I asked a couple of questions, and he kept it close to the vest. He's a young guy. He's only 29. Not to say Cohen's old or Campanelli's old, but I think they're more expressive. And certainly with Cohen, man, he's pretty transparent. I set the line at 1.5 as far as after the 53-man roster is set. If you look at waiver additions to this football team, and honestly, I think with what they've done over the last couple of weeks at defensive tackle, that would have been my priority, position number 1, where they could add. But he said this today when asked about his 53-man roster.
The guys that are on our team, I think there's clarity. There's definitely I would assume there's probably going to be some players on other people's rosters that will be on our roster. I mean, that's the reality of this thing. So, at multiple positions, we have guys that are either on the border or, hey, man, we're going to have to go and look elsewhere when the time comes. And that's just the reality of this time that we're in, this phase. But there are some guys that are going to be playing this weekend that are fighting for roster spots.
All right, Dylan. It was, 2 weeks ago when I asked Liam Cohen as a first-time head coach where he was as far as the competition and setting his 53-man roster. He told me at that time he had 50 spots. So that leaves 3 roster spots. What do you make of this? Is he being 100% honest and just throwing out there? Is this a way to maybe challenge some bubble guys before they get set to play on Saturday night? What did you make of this comment?
I kind of, you want to challenge your guys, to see what they can do, because all those guys on the bubble, this is going to be their game. A couple of guys that have been signed this week, this is going to be their game. No stars are playing this weekend. D-Rock came in this morning, and we were talking about Cephas this morning when he got cut. He's like, he's not going to make the team because, one, he doesn't play special teams, and 2, he doesn't block. And he was going on, he was saying that the Jags want the 5th or 6th receiver to be a big body guy that can play special teams, kind of like Zay Jones did. Zay Jones is a 6'3", 6'4" type of body, a little over 200 pounds, who can do special teams, and he's good at that. So, you look at a lot of receivers now that are on the team, you got a lot of smaller guys, De'Ami Brown, Travis Hunter, BTJ's, a little bigger than that, but he kind of went on to say the Jags are probably going to sign a receiver, a big body kind of guy that can play special teams from another team here whenever everybody makes those cuts early next week.
Interesting. And we talked about that yesterday after the Cephas cut. The biggest body wide receiver on this team is Cam Camper. I mean, he's a legit 6'3", 6'3.5", and he's also, I would have to believe, is arguably the heaviest wide receiver. Well, they actually have him here at 197. Okay, just 3 receivers over 200 pounds. Parker Washington at 204, Pancol at 205, and Brian Thomas at 209. So, all right, I get that. Quarterback, they're going to keep 2. I don't think they add. I think they stash one on the practice squad, whether it be Wolford or the rookie Hennigan. You got your 4 backs. Hopefully they can put Jackson on the practice squad. And based on what he said earlier today, I still think there's a real possibility of a trade involved with Travis Etienne or Tank Bigsby. Here's the deal, though. You got to get value. You're trying to win games. Jacksonville's a better football team right now here today with Travis Etienne. Jacksonville's a better football team right here today with Tank Bigsby. What are you going to get? I mean, don't give me any of these conditional 7th round stuff. Why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. My guest last hour, John Oehser, forever has gone on to say you really can't count heavily on rookies. You just can't, right? And last year would be an exception to the rule around here. You got phenomenal play from Brian Thomas Jr. You also got phenomenal play from Cam Little, right? Let's look up last year's draft class. Once again, and I remember Trent Baalke saying, well, you really don't expect anything out of rookies. And, that was the year that Detroit started 4 rookies, and that became kind of the exception of the rule. All right, Brian Thomas Jr., A++++. Mason Smith, 6 games scratched, didn't take care of his body. Jarian Jones, very good. Absolutely very good. And out of the DBs today, I'm from what I've read, he had a good day today in South Florida against the Dolphins. So, Jarian Jones, what do you give him, a B+, an A-? Javon Foster, nope. Jordan Jefferson, very little. Very, very little. Deontay Prince, the guy's had a good camp, but he didn't figure in a year ago. Keelan Robinson, he's already been let go. Cam Little, a star, A+. And Miles Cole's the guy who's not going to make this team. He's got the body. He's got the look. He just is not productive. So, last year's draft class, you got production from 3 guys, really good production. Thomas Jr., Jones, and Little. And you got a taste from Mason Smith. And you got a taste from Jordan Jefferson. So that's where you are. And, you're expecting, and I heard Gladstone today on our airwaves talking about the 53, the 16-man practice squad, and developing guys. Having guys on your practice squad who turn the corner and end up, really helping your football team. There hasn't been a whole heck of a lot of that around here. I'll tell you a guy right now who's got an opportunity to do that and maybe end up being a pretty good story is Christian Braswell. I thought he had a sensational camp a year ago. I would have had him on the roster. He wasn't. But if you get the Christian Braswell, you and I both know, okay, that means that there's attrition here. Because you have Jarian Jones on the other side of Tyson Campbell. You have Travis Hunter on the other side of Tyson Campbell. You've got a veteran and a guy who's had probably the best camp of anyone as a defensive back in Jordan Lewis, who may be a corner in base, and then when you go to nickel, he slides inside and becomes becomes your slot corner. So, interesting stuff there. Let's come back and look at the defense. Tight ends, I think they're set with 3. Okay, maybe there's a tight end out there. You really get the feeling, though, that they are so advanced in their scouting. You get that feeling as well that this is totally different from the Baalke era. I mean, I think you can look at Cohen guys in Tampa, Campanile, guys in Green Bay, Udinsky, guys in Minnesota, and certainly when you get to Gladstone, his 9 years spent in Los Angeles.
Yeah, Balky, it was when he drafted a guy, it was like he never wanted to admit that he was wrong when he drafted somebody. Just look at the draft class like you just mentioned from a year ago. Jordan Jefferson may or may not make this team.
Right.
Javon Foster definitely is not going to make this team. Prince may not make this team, and Miles Cole is probably not going to make this team.
Right.
If Balky's here, all those guys probably going to make the team.
No. Oh, well, if Balky's here, more would.
Right.
And you're right about that. That the ego applies, for everyone when it comes to going out and drafting players. So, anyway, let's do that. Let's come back and dig into this a little bit more. We certainly invite you to join the conversation. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And as well, those of you on YouTube, just go to 1010XL into the night.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser start the week by giving the ball to the best back in Duval.
And off, Fred Taylor.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein & Robbins DUI defense firm and Monahan Jewelers on 1010XL.
At Keon Atlantic, the savings are back in session. You'll just need to follow these simple rules to make the most of your back to school. Step 1, switch out your car for an upgrade. Step 2, drive a new Kia starting at $20K. Step 3, make no payments for a whole 90 days. Hurry in to start back to school in a big way. Online at KeonAtlantic.com. Keon Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection. For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
Looking for summer fun the whole family can enjoy? Check out Wick, a candle bar. Make your own custom candles and body care products in store at Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jax Beach.
Get more Gators with Dan Hickett and me, Frank Frangie, on all things Gators on 1010XL Gators Podcast, with new episodes every Monday, brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, wherever you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com.
Football is a game of inches, and at Front Runners Tap House, every inch counts. Catch every big play on their massive 396-inch giant television. The ultimate game day experience is waiting for you at Front Runners Tap House inside the Community First Igloo.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie, and I got to tell you, I can't fix anything. I would be so lost with plumbing problems if not for Duck Duck Rooter. But everybody knows to call the Duck. Well, I do too. Whether it's plumbing, air conditioning, septic, they handle all of it, and nobody does a better job than our friends at Duck Duck Rooter. Any of those needs you have, call them today, 904-862-6769, or go to duckduckrooter.com. If you've got problems, call Duck Duck Rooter. They'll handle it, I guarantee it.
Oh, interest rates. They're high everywhere, aren't they? Not at Beard's Diamonds. Right now, they've lowered finance rates all the way down to 0. Hey, Hicken here. That's right. Now Beard's Diamonds pays 0 down and get 0 interest financing for 5 whole years. So that $12,000 designer engagement ring is yours now for just $200 a month. Man, this amazing offer makes everything affordable. How about a $6,000 diamond eternity band, $100 a month? How about a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings? $50 a month. It's insane. Make any purchase and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 down and 0 interest financing. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, pendants, colored gemstone jewelry. Let the non-commission experts at Beards help you find the perfect piece of jewelry and take advantage of our best financing offer ever. I'm talking Beards Diamonds. I'm talking in the St. John's Town Center. This amazing offer ends August 31st. Shop local. Shop Beards.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a slip and slide gone wrong? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Clean and Freaks at Zero Res. Great time of the year to get your house Zero Resified. And right now, you can get your entire home cleaned from Jacksonville's ultimate carpet cleaner. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Plus, they're throwing in a free hallway and take $100 off the air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Clayton Kershaw won his 220th game earlier today. Max Scherzer won his 220th game. I think it was yesterday. Might have been Tuesday. So it's a good baseball going on right now. Brewers finally bounced back after getting really beat up by Chicago. They win their 80th game. We got Red Sox, Yankees tonight. So anyway, travel day Thursday, as we do know, in Major League Baseball. I just had this here. Yeah, this is interesting. Will there be a first-time Super Bowl appearance right now? Yes is 400 plus 400, 4-1 odds. No is minus 700, 1 of 7 odds. Of course, it's only 4 teams who have never appeared in a Super Bowl. Too long in the tooth in Cleveland, in Detroit, and then 2 in the AFC South in Jacksonville and Houston. But again, no, you got to give up $700 just to win 100. If you say yes to one of those 4 teams, you lay down $100 and you get back $400. Very latest there. Get ready for the Philly Godfather coming up in the very near future. Philly Rooster, Rafael Esparza. We like to keep you involved when it comes to gaming. 28-35 Ballou. I'm keeping all 4 running backs. Not sure where Cohen is going with that. Well, he was specific. I mean, he's going to keep 4 running backs on the 53. He's just going to have 3 dressed on game day. But the way I read it, is there an opportunity still for this football team to move a veteran? I think what it really comes down to is a rookie running back. And he had phenomenal success with Bucky Irvin, a rookie running back a year ago in Tampa. Is that enough for him and Gladstone and Baselli to say, okay, let's peddle a veteran, whether it's ETN or Bigsby, because we have this much faith in the rookies? And, you know, that is a situation right there that is really going to be criticized if it does backfire. So hopefully that's not the case. 83-34 Ballou. Too bad we couldn't keep Cooks around as a 6 wide receiver. Yeah, he got plenty of opportunities. He did. He got plenty of opportunities, and it just became a numbers game, and it didn't work out for him. Ballou, I promise you, no one threw Josh Hines Allen around, and I'm nowhere near Miami. Yeah, well, didn't hear about it from the Jaguars beat. Omar Kelly, Miami Herald, he put it out there, so you can go give him a hard time. You know, I like Omar, but go ahead and do that. 57-17. What's that?
I was going to say, one of the Dolphins, I forget which reporter it was raving about Devin Lloyd and how good of a player he is.
That was Omar Kelly. Oh, okay. Unless someone other, Omar Kelly's like, man, he's really good.
Yeah, he's like, golly.
But Lloyd's looked good for years in practice.
Mm-hmm. He does look the part.
They are blitzing him more, and that's encouraging. Again, you always talk about take some shots. When you hear that, it's what? It's offense. Take a shot. Throw a deep ball. try to make something happen. Well, frankly, this defense has been so vanilla, and it has been so systematic. You can go back to the Gus Bradley day. It's just and Todd Wash, and just everything ever since with Mike Caldwell, which was so close to the vest, and then last year the bizarre changes that Ryan Nielsen made. I'd be pretty encouraged about what could happen here defensively with the layers and trying to do some things. Dave Campo, was it yesterday? Was it Tuesday? Again, everything is messed up for me during camp, but Dave Campo talking to us, about the way that this football team was blitzing and how he's encouraged with that and how he thinks that finally Trayvon Walker is going to be moved inside. Okay? You want Saxonville 2.0? How do you do it? Is it Walker? Is it Armstead? Is it Smoot? Josh Hines-Allen? Or do you put in Ogba? Slide Walker inside? DeJuan Smoot? Josh Hines-Allen? Don't know the answer to that question right now. Apparently, Eric Armstead had a sack today and had a pretty good effort. 57-17, Ballou. You got to trade 41. I'm not a numbers guy, but that's Allen, right?
That is correct.
Number 41. I've just never been a numbers guy. I outside of number 4, Bobby Orr. I can remember that one growing up. Rick, you got to trade 41, Josh Hines-Allen, Tank Muma, and a third for Parsons, and a second and a third. Okay. There's not a lot of guys in the NFL that I'm trading Josh Hines-Allen for. Parsons would be one, but I just don't believe that's going to happen. Why, when it's all said and done, Jerry's just going to pay him, and all this is going to end up being nonsense. 87-34, Ballou. ETN is our best back by far. Tank fumbles, and the other guys are unproven. That is a statement that I agree with. Travis Etienne is the best back today in the Liam Cohen offense. Travis Etienne has had a fantastic training camp. He knows he's up against it. He has done a really good job running the football. He has done a really good job at catching the football. You look at well-rounded backs. I think it's pretty unanimous right now that Allen Jr. and Tootin are considered better pass protectors than Bigsby and Etienne. That's a factor. All right? We keep hearing that Allen Jr. could be, the bona fide third down back. That's a factor. Some say Allen Jr. has the best hands in that backfield. Okay? That's really saying something because Tootin and Etienne have phenomenal hands. Bigsby does not, and they showcased Bigsby the other day. It was the shortest screen pass I've ever seen. I mean, the ball went 3 or 4 yards, and you saw what Bigsby did when he got the ball. He's a menace to bring down. And, he's showing a little bit more wiggle. He made a nice cut there and picked up, 20-some-odd yards. So I think this is actually a fairly, pleasant problem to have. I would guess that. Okay, someone tell me about visiting the city. It goes back to my comment with John Oehser. 57-39, Ballou. Defenses seem to dictate where Trevor does more than the other way around. Now, that's a six-pack argument right there. I mean, that is a real dive into the tape and discuss that because, I think it's true, but this is where all the excuses come in. And not only that, but I think the excuses are valid. If it's terrible play calling, if you can't run the ball, if your offensive line is awful, there's no doubt that, he's going to be a little bit limited. He's going to have absolutely no comments, no confidence in what is going on. It does appear that he is really advanced. It does appear that he's had a very good camp. It has not been a perfect camp. Today is somewhat alarming when you hear about the, as Liam Cohen described it, the defense and the mask type of defense that they had. You know, you're showing man-to-man, then you fall into a cover two, or vice versa. You hope that this coaching staff is all over that. And that is absolutely their emphasis, including tomorrow during the walkthrough, is mix up the defenses. Show Trevor something. You know, did we have that comment? Trevor actually goes on. Let me see here. Let's play number 2 from Trevor Lawrence. I believe this is it. When he talked about, you know, the similarities that you get and the nuances that you begin to learn when you practice against the same players every day and how that changes with a different opponent. Here's Trevor Lawrence on what Miami did this morning defensively.
Just some of the disguises they do, you get used to playing against your own defense and you see kind of the same disguises, so you start to pick up on certain things and you can protect it. But when you're seeing things for the first time, because you can't really game plan all the time when it's preseason and joint practice, you don't know what they're going to do. They could do new stuff. So coming out here, just like that's why I said having to play and then react to, sometimes you get in some bad situations because you might have sent the protection one way, they bring the pressure the other way. And then what do you do from there? As a quarterback with the ball, but also guys running their routes, how do they run their routes, speed them up, all those things. And we had some great looks, you know, that didn't all go our way, but that we'll learn from.
You know, it becomes such a chess match. You look at an offense and what they do. You look at a defense and what they do. But then you game plan for that week. And, you know, if you're taking on a team and they're running this successfully defensively, do all of a sudden they change because their understanding is, we'll run this against Trevor, even though we didn't run it the week prior or 2 weeks prior. This is something that can rattle the quarterback here in Jacksonville. So, you know, change when the ball is snapped. I have no idea how those conversations go. I mean, every offensive and defensive room is about putting together the best overall scheme you can for your opponent. And, you know, felt like right there that he just wasn't aware of what Miami was doing. And again, they didn't prepare. It's not like they had their game plan in, as they will. They'll be able to start putting that together immediately. You know, next Monday, you'll get 2 weeks to put that in against Carolina. Good question. Really was. 63-51, Rick, do you think number 50 Combs makes the squad? No, I don't. But I think he's got an opportunity to be on there as a practice squad guy. I think it comes down to Chad Muma. You know, are they going to keep 5 or are they going to keep 6? And, you know, Sam Linebacker is really intriguing here. They love Dennis Gardeck. He's going to be your starter. He's going to be a guy that when you talk about exotic blitzes or you just talk about Anthony Campanelli doing some things, there's a guy right there that you can look at in Dennis Gardeck and say, that's going to happen. I mean, what is the percentage of plays now in the NFL where you are running a 3 linebacker set, right? I mean, most of it is nickel coverage, even some dime coverage, where linebackers come out. They feel really good about Aloha Lloyd. In a perfect world, and I've talked about this often, it'd be great to see Ventrell Miller play the strong side linebacker. See him play the Sam. He does not. There's been a time, but, I mean, that's really Yasir Abdullah, and it's Dennis Gardeck. And it's also a guy who's on the shelf right now in Jalen McLeod. In my opinion, Jalen McLeod's a guy that has a chance. He's a perfect example of a player that I would put on IR, Jalen McLeod. I do the same thing with Caleb Branshaw. I put him on IR. Kind of feels like Buster Brown and Cole Van Lannon are going to go on IR. I don't know this, right? But I'm just thinking out loud. That Sam linebacker position. Now, how many plays a game are you going to get at the Sam position? So I just don't think it works out. And, you know, he's more, when you look at Combs anyway, he's more of a middle linebacker, right? where, obviously last year they moved Ventrell Miller out of middle to weak side, which made just no sense. But I think Combs has got a chance. And as we head to this break, I've said this a few times because I mean it. The way things change so quickly in this league, don't be surprised at all if next year you're starting middle linebackers Ventrell Miller. Don't be surprised at all next year that your weak side starting linebacker is Jack Kaiser. I think Lloyd's got a better chance of re-signing here than ETN does, but I think both are gone. And then you just never know about contracts. Again, if I was to say to you last year at this time, well, Evan Ingram's going to be gone, Christian Kirk's going to be gone, a lot of you wouldn't have believed it. That's why I put a guy like Oloakon out there as a possibility, just contractually speaking. Not that he's not a great football player. He is very underrated football player. All right, we got much more to do with you tonight till 8 o'clock. A joint practice took place earlier this morning. The Jaguars in Miami, they did so with the Dolphins.
Big number one Duval Ford is trusted by Duval families, Duval businesses, and law enforcement across Florida. We're Jacksonville's largest Ford dealer by new Ford sales with the biggest service facility to keep everything in your driveway and in your fleet on the road. Shop Big number one Duval Ford on Cassett Avenue for our low prices and nationally recognized service-first experience. Big number one Duval Ford, proudly serving North Florida since 1916.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Denny Thompson here. Look, don't get left in the dark. We're all trying to reason with hurricane season, so at least be prepared. For top-of-the-line generators in Jacksonville, I turn to Tyson. Licensed pros at Tyson deliver reliable, whole-home standby generators and provide fast repair service. They even do custom installations for local businesses, so don't wait. Ensure seamless installation and peace of mind. Call Tyson now, 904-762-1000 for a free estimate on generator services. TysonInc.com.
Football season is back, baby. Hicken here, and I know I'm excited to get back to watching some ball over the weekend. But with the fun comes responsibility. Taking care of your skin while outside, extremely important. We know it feels like 100 out there, and that sun is blazing. Make sure you bring the screen while loading up all that tailgate. It's simple. Protect your skin. It's the Sunshine State. To help you protect your skin, Beaches Dermatology is here. I've been going to them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
The dog days of summer are here, and Superior Fence and Rail is throwing you a bone. Right now, get 5% off any fence project 100 linear feet or more through August 22nd. Whether you're looking for added privacy or to keep your pets and family safe, now is the perfect time to invest. Contact Superior Fence and Rail today for your free estimate. Cannot be combined with other offers. New contracts only.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
How do you know that your roof is ready for the next big storm? You don't. That's why you need to call me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We'll assess your roof and fix those issues before they become storm disasters. Visit BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roofing quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hunter Long with another good day. He's really come on the last few weeks. Hunter Long, clearly the number 2 wide receiver right now. Again, according to John Shipley, Austin Trammell was the second best wide receiver today. He goes on to say that the Dolphins were on skates. If you have not heard, it was Brian Thomas Jr., his best practice of the year. Caught a couple of touchdown passes for Trevor Lawrence. Getting more and more on Trevor. Everything from he's going to shine in this offense to, here on YouTube. Doug Peterson knew he couldn't read defenses. This is from the big man who said that. Appreciate your input. And a whole bunch of stuff coming in here on Trevor, on the running backs. It's really kind of interesting. When I look at the waiver wire, I think they're set at the offensive line. Are they going to cut someone who makes this offensive line better? I guess there's an outside chance if it's an aging veteran with a pretty big salary, but I'd be surprised. So that's it for the offense. Defense, we just talked about linebackers. Possibly a Sam linebacker if they could get better there. Defensive line, they've already added with Colin Saunders and Austin Johnson. So that's not going to happen. As a matter of fact, I think you can make a case right now that former draft picks, Tyler Lacey and Jordan Jefferson, one of the two won't make the team. I think that'd be a comfortable bet right now. I also think that applies to Chad Muma, who he appears to be lost. The defensive backfield is going to be really interesting. They're going to go 5 corners, 6 safeties. Are they going to go 6 and 6? If so, do you take a less linebacker? You go to 5 there. I don't know. But that's getting healthier because Buster's out, you know it. But now you're starting to get Tyson Campbell involved, and he did not participate today in any team drills against Miami. Travis Hunter didn't as well today defensively against Miami. 56-02, Ballou. Tyler Higbee with the Rams. Kyler Duggar, the safety in New England. Now, he's been mentioned all over the place as a possible trade. And Beanie Bishop. Look out for those guys. Okay. We'll mark it. That, in fact, could end up being where Jacksonville goes if they want to add another player. 89-24, the beauty of Cohen, it seems, is he will call plays to Trevor's strengths. We shall see. Imagine that. How much have we talked about the quick release? How much have we talked about the advanced screen game? How much have we talked about just getting the football to playmakers? Guys who can score the minute they touch it. And I'm talking about not only intermediate routes, I'm talking about balls behind the line of scrimmage, okay, which I guess would be defined as a screen. Typically, when I think of the screen, it applies to a running back, but you throw behind the line of scrimmage. If it's incomplete, it's an incomplete pass. It's not a fumble. So, yes, absolutely. A lot of truth to that. No doubt about it. And that's where the brain trust really does come in. And Cohen's got that body of work. Granted, it's based on 1 year, but he's got it. The problem is how big of a difference is the offensive line? I mean, Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer. Godwin, when healthy, is incredible. Bucky Irvin just went over 1,200 yards as a rookie, right? And with White there, I mean, they're so solid at skill position. I think you can make the case that Jacksonville could be better. Now, it's untested. Right now, it's a foolish argument. But if you really look at what could be with those wide receivers and those running backs, yes. The question is can Liam Cohen take them to that level? 71-19, trading Tank seems very logical. There's a market for him. Okay with that. Purge the bulky stench. I'd hate to see Tank go, but I just don't know, again, if he's the perfect fit. The argument is that Tank's going to get the bulk of the carries. When it's all said and done and you look at carries, it's going to be Tank Bigsby. I think when you look at touches, I could see a 50, 60, 70 ball year receiving for Travis Etienne. I really believe that if the rookies aren't involved. So, again, this is, questions that we just don't have an answer to at this point. 5105, Rick, if I had to guess, the defense is behind the offense right now. Does Travis Hunter spend 70% on the D and 30% on offense? What's the truth? That's interesting. I think a lot of people would say the opposite, that the defense is ahead of the offense. The defense played very well today. They weren't able to run. They got pressure. It feels like the Achilles heel of this Jaguars defense is coverage. And again, that, you haven't seen, let's see how they are in coverage when you have Hunter on one side and you have Campbell on the other and you have Jordan Lewis in the slot, right? Let's take a look at it then. Yeah, I think it's only fair. And, most of the attention, and obviously Eric Murray, and then, your second safety, still three guys competing. It feels like Dewey's going to be the starter. But I actually do believe that the defense is ahead of the offense at this particular time. Liam Cohen said that they would not have a factor on Travis Hunter, okay? And as we head to this break, I also believe that that is a fluid situation. If you're getting really good play out of Brian Thomas Jr., Diami Brown, and Parker Washington, and you're lacking with coverage, doesn't that force them to use Hunter more on the other side? The flip side would be if there's attrition, if there's injuries offensively, then I think you sacrifice a little bit on defense and keep Travis Hunter as a game breaker on offense. And that is why this is going to be, again, such an unusual season, to just look at that on a week-to-week basis as to what we think is going to take place. All right, much more to do. Ticket till 8. Hacker joins you then.
Feel the roar of the Jaguars. Next up, the Miami Dolphins. Saturday at 7 on the home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1010XL.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Resto Pros.
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Resto Pros.
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestoProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestoProsNEFlorida.com.
Resto Pros.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. The Everbank London Getaway Experience. One lucky winner and a guest get round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and tickets to see the Jags play in London. Everbank.com/London for official rules. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Everbank London Getaway Sweeps entry period 7/28/25 to 9/5/25. Enter and get official rules and details at Everbank.com/London.
Tailgaters parking season passes are on sale now. Secure your Jaguar season parking today. Enjoy indoor restrooms, a full-service bar and grill, access 4 hours before kickoff. Visit tailgatersparking.com and book your space today.
It's kind of like his own private locker, and you're his guest.
Every time we talk, I'm reinvigorated by my love of the game.
Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010XL.com.
Hayes Blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
Pizza to Tea here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find the scratch kitchen that comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Come on, somebody.
No more climbing ladders or tree shopping or untangling lights. No way. Kuhn Flowers will take care of it for you this fall when you schedule their holiday home decorating team. High Flying Jacko here. Now's a good time to call on Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all this fall.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Your grandfather was stronger at 50 than you are at 40. Want to know why? His testosterone was 30% higher than yours. That's not genetics. That's modern life killing your hormones. Stress, chemicals, sitting, it's all crushing your T levels. Male Excel reverses it. Prescription testosterone, thyroid optimization, personalized to you. Over 100,000 men are already winning again. Your turn. Try MaleExcel.com. Free assessment because you deserve it. Your family deserves it.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cooldown with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Fighting 5 minutes for both teams. Yeah, that was the deal today. Reported 3 fights. We checked in with John Oehser live from Miami. Combination of guys just being tired. You know, they're sick of camp. I think in the future you'll see that Liam Cohen and the Jaguars brass will not schedule a joint practice during the final week of preseason. I think they'll try to do that earlier. Miami did, and anyway, that happened today. You know, good news. The defense was stout. Pressure today. Hines Allen, Walker. Good day for Eric Armstead. Liam Cohen singled out Mason Smith. Actually, he was asked about Smith and just commented positively. Devin Lloyd in the backfield today on some blitzes. Jarian Jones. A nice day in the secondary. Today was the best practice so far for Brian Thomas Jr. He caught 2 touchdowns from Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence was sloppy. The offense was sloppy. The Miami mask defense fooled them, and that is here in one alignment. And when the ball is snapped, you go into another. Reportedly today for Trevor Lawrence, he was 8 of 14 for 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. One of those came by Minka Fitzpatrick, where Brenton Strange and Trevor Lawrence were not on the same page. Strange wasn't looking at the ball. The other came on a pass to Brian Thomas Jr., Jack Jones with the pick, although folks there say he could have been sacked on that play. Travis Hunter worked during individual drills, did not take part in any team drills. Liam Cohen did go on to say that if it was Carolina, it was a regular season, he probably could have gone. So it's encouraging. It's just, you know, why put him out there? And they elected not to. Tyson Campbell, same deal. Individual drills, did not participate in anything that was team related a little bit earlier today. as well. So there you have it. The Southeastern Conference going to 9 football games beginning in the year 2026. All right, so this has been long rumored, and they're just going to make that much more money. Every school is going to make that much more cash with an extra in-conference game. Again, that'll take place in 2026.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, Hacker Nation, his draft is ongoing. He's at Twin Peaks on Atlantic. Hacker, how are you?
Rick, I'm good, buddy. How are things?
Man, everything good here. Just going through what happened earlier today in Miami. A feisty day for the Jacksonville Jaguars and Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, the Jaguars were a little fired up. There's absolutely no question about that. I saw the skirmish, if you will. By all indications, a rough day for the Jaguar offense, a pretty good day for the Jaguar defense. I've just been telling people on social media, don't overreact to a joint practice, either good or bad, because I saw a lot of what I thought was overreaction and maybe the offensive struggles today.
Okay. That mass defense did fool him a little bit, so it's a learning point there, no doubt about it, for the Jaguars. I guess the other side of the football, though, worked well today, particularly the pass rush for Duval down in Miami.
Yeah, physical day for the Jaguar defense by all indications. And shout out to a couple of Jaguar media guys, our brother and John Shipley, Jamal St. Cyr among them. It was a good follows today. Those guys made the trip down to Miami, wanted to give them credit. And, yeah, it looks like the Jaguar defense had a pretty good day. Also interesting, Rick, that the Dolphins are going to play some starters on Saturday night while the Jaguars have announced they are not playing their starters.
Makes sense. I mean, they played them last week, got a lot of burn, two possessions offensively, 2 possessions defensively. So that makes it 3 overall possessions for the offense and defense in 3 games, and then they'll get ready for Carolina, who does play. As a matter of fact, they're underway right now against Pittsburgh. All right, you got a big night. You're on the road. What's going on?
Yeah, Twin Peaks at Atlantic and Kernan. We are in the midst of the Hacker Fantasy League Draft 2025. We're actually in the middle of round number 5 right now. We invite people to come on out. There is a great crowd out here tonight at Twin Peaks, talking a little fantasy football, having a little fellowship. Not a better way to spend a Thursday evening. And we'll also talk a lot of football. JP Acosta is going to join the program, Josh Edwards of CBSSports.com. And a big night of Friday Night Lights tomorrow night, Rick. High school football gets underway. We'll have a long-time head coach in the area. My buddy Marty Lee will join me to preview all of the action tomorrow evening.
Yeah, it is here. And, again, a lot happening tomorrow. But make sure you join Hacker Nation tonight at Twin Peaks. He's out there on Atlantic. Have a great show. I'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds great, Rick.
There he goes. That's Hacker Nation. And how many fantasy teams are you a part of?
Jeez. I've set a daily lineup about 8. I've already done about 10 best ball lineups.
Really?
You don't have to set up a lineup, yeah.
Okay. Is the overwhelming favorite Chase, number 1 pick?
Yes, number 1. Mm-hmm.
And then what, Barkley or?
Bijan Robinson 2, Saquon Barkley 3,
okay.
Jahmyr Gibbs 4, in somewhat order.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. The Hacker's involved in it again, and obviously Dylan is involved in it. So have fun. I don't do the fantasy. All right, at least football. I don't. I still have that gambling. If you cut me up and I spill, I'm going to come out a gambler, even though I am not presently involved in it, as far as you know. That's going to do it. Thank you to John Oehser. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou. Hey, we're going to wrap up the week. Let's go for our 53 tomorrow. Let's do it. Right before cut day on Monday. We'll do that on Friday's program. My name is Rick Ballou. We'll talk then.